Let's take a minute to hear a word from our sponsor for this week's Ag Report, Elite Tire.
Elite Tire and Automotive. Ever have one of those days and just need a little hand? Well, with our remote services, we'll just hop right on it. Get you back on the road quick and easy. With automotive services to cover all your mechanical needs. Need that state inspection done? Well, we can do that too. So roll on in and see a friendly face. Give us a call and we can be right on the spot to assist you. So trust the friendly folks down at Elite Tire and Automotive, 972-775-1055.
Howdy folks, welcome to this week's Ag Report. So this week we're going to talk about wild hogs or feral hogs, wild pigs, wild boars, a lot of different names, same nuisance of an animal. Y'all may have seen some things in the legislative session this year talking about that. Maybe you didn't. Maybe y'all have seen over the years, this kind of come and go as stories, that kind of stuff. For that matter, maybe you have moved in here and, you've got your yard, nice the way that you like it, your flower beds, that kind of stuff. And maybe you woke up one morning and came out and you no longer had a nice yard. You no longer had flower beds in there. You had open dirt and holes and things like that. Maybe you are a recent victim of wild hog or feral hog damage. So that's what we're going to talk about a little bit today. It's not a new problem. This has been going on for many years, but it is a problem that is continuing to grow. So let me kind of talk a little bit about how it's been growing, what's been going on to try and combat it, and something new that is coming out. So obviously this has been kind of an issue for a while, and wild hogs are extremely, I think the word is prolific. In other words, they reproduce very, very rapidly. If we as agriculture producers could raise a crop that was so hardy and good, or had animals that reproduced so fast with such a high success rate, it would cure what ails us. Kind of an old timey saying there. It would cure what ails us. But that is the situation with the hogs. They do about $230 million worth of damage each year, according to the USDA, the United States Department of Agriculture, in Texas alone. They are in many other states, but we're just talking about Texas alone. I've been a victim of this. Most everybody in agriculture has been a victim some kind of way. And it doesn't matter whether you have cattle and it's just a hay field or a Sudan field. They get in there and they root for that rhizome Johnson grass, things like that, or some of those clovers and stuff. Doesn't matter if you're a row crop producer. They get in there. They'll go after corn at several different stages. I myself have had them root it the day after I planted the seed. They went and found every seed in the row. They just went right down the row and ate every one of them. Over about 3 evenings, 3 nights, they ate a 100-acre field. All gone, had to start over and plant it over. So if you get past the window of planting and you actually get the crop growing, talking about corn, well, then they'll pick different spots that they like to bed down. So they'll come in and just tromp down that corn. The stalk is growing. There's no corn there, but they'll just tromp that stuff down. You have damage there. As the corn grows and it begins to produce an ear, well, then they have figured out, because they're too short to reach the ear in most cases, how to knock the stalk over and then eat the ear. And to make matters worse, they usually eat about one bite out of the ear, and then they go get another one. It wouldn't hurt your feelings so bad if they'd at least eat the whole corn on the cob before they went on to something else. But they don't. They just continue to knock it down and take bites out of those ears and go on. So the economic loss to agriculture is huge. We've been trying to look at ways to control this. So they've been trying to do this many different ways. They've basically been trying to look at a birth control that was exclusive to wild hogs to try and rein in that reproductive rate. Of course, there's hunting that goes on. There's even sport hunting that a niche market for these things. There's traps, there's cages. They have made photo cell cages that sends you an alert on your phone, and you can set the trap on your phone when you see the pigs in there so that you don't just catch one. If there's 9 others waiting at the gate, you can wait till those 9 others get in, that kind of stuff. So there's also been a product called Kaput that came out on the market, was registered by the EPA. It has not been allowed to be used in Texas for the last 6 or 7 years or so. It's kind of been put on the shelf till there was a study done and some funding for that. Well, in this legislative session, there has been funding to AgriLife Extension that will allow kaput to be studied and be used. And so they're in the rulemaking process right now, but what we think it's going to look like is, you've heard us talk about having a private applicator license, okay? If you currently hold a private applicator's license in Texas, then it's going to be managed by the AgriLife Extension. You will contact the AgriLife Extension and sign up or be accepted into the pilot program. You will become a researcher for them. So in other words, you will report back to them your findings, how you're feeding, where you're feeding, what the death rate maybe looks like, if you're able to count animals, that kind of stuff. And then in about a year and a half, they will report all that back. And depending on the findings, if the findings are good, then it will be opened up to general, Texas. Now there could be some other rules that come into place at that time, but that's kind of what the step looks like. And so I know that there's probably some out there that are saying, well, let's just hunt them more, or let's just trap them more. Hey, that's great, and more power to you. But the numbers show, since this was, brought up about 6 or 7 years ago, the hunting is not curbing the population nor the damages at all. All of the trapping is not curbing the population. And don't misunderstand, just because there's a bait out there, it doesn't mean that it's going to magically, say in a year or two, drop this population by 75% or even 50%. Okay. You've got to kind of, realize it is a tool in the toolbox to control them. But just because you have it out there doesn't mean that all the pigs are going to do like the Pied Piper and just line up to get their couple of bites of kaput and then go away. So, it's going to help control this. And, folks don't live off of feral hog meat the way they, did years ago, meaning there's somebody not going out hunting every other day for meat. They may be going out hunting and, playing and enjoying and that kind of stuff. Nothing wrong with that. But the constant pressure that is needed to control and reverse the population numbers is not going to happen with recreational hunting. So we've got to have something else out there. And I think a lot of folks are kind of seeing this now because it is getting personal to them. It's showing up in their golf courses. It's showing up in their residential neighborhoods. It's showing up in their baseball fields. It's showing up in their soccer fields. And so the folks in urban America, urban Texas now, are starting to feel the pain that agriculture has been feeling for a long time. So it's time for us all to work together. Hopefully this will be a good program. Hopefully this will assist us in that. I'm going tomorrow to meet with Congressman Pfluger in Brownwood. We are in Brownwood, excuse me. He is going to look, there's a pilot program that has been going on out there by the AgriLife Extension in Brown and Comanche counties, specifically on wild hog. So we're going to talk to him tomorrow about that, kind of see how that pilot program is working out there. That's a little more arid, type of area out there. A little more west of us, kind of getting out into the West Texas area. But that's the key. We need to work on this in all aspects of Texas, from the piney woods out to West Texas, down to the Gulf Coast. Different environments. Pigs are going to be a little bit different in how they do things down there. So anyways, I hope that this information was good to you. I hope that if you're having trouble with the feral hogs, that as information gets put out, you will reach out to your local county AgriLife Extension agent. We certainly here in Ellis County, as information comes together and things get more formalized, we're going to reach out to Mark Arnold and have him on the show, talk about the details when they get finalized. But this is kind of a pre-meeting or pre-education of kind of what has just finished up in the legislative session and what will be coming out, hopefully, maybe by September, something like that later in the fall. But we'll keep you informed. We appreciate you tuning in. As always, if you have questions about the hogs, you can reach out to the Sun or reach out to the local AgriLife Extension for more information. Y'all take care now.